Bowl quarter-final number 4 between Scotland and Brazil. They've met 4 times before on the World Series, and Scotland have won all of them. The last time they met in Vancouver, it was 33 points to 0. The lineup: Riddell, Robertson and Farndale up front. Fife, Scott White the captain, Fleming and
specifically Scott Riddell looking to continue his impressive form throughout this season.
There's Lucas Duque. So here we go with bowl quarter-final number 4. Scott White lifts the ball and Fiore, the big man for Brazil, brings it down. Duque. And they go wide early, do Brazil, trying to stretch this Scotland team, and a good offload there to Silva. Felipe Silva's gone down. He claimed he was taken out, but Richard Kelly's not having any of it, and a chance for Scotland here to make something happen. Jamie Farndale spins it across. This is Glenn Bryce. There's Farndale again. Gets the fen going. Tackler had rights there, but he couldn't quite force the turnover. Running at the line is Glenn Bryce once more. Penalty decision there to Brazil. Danger time here for Scotland.
Scott Riddell, slight indiscretion on the floor there. If you do fall over, you cannot play the ball. Very impressive player, Scott Riddell, for me. Heartbeat of the Scottish team, and you see there slightly slipping, ball coming out of his feet, and then fell on it again. Indiscretion in the midfield.
Callum McRae, the head coach of the Scotland Sevens, former player for Scotland Sevens as well. Duque with the chip through, but it's ricocheted off a Scotland player, and they'll have to track back Brazil here. And Brother Moyes is lending a hand, and Fiore once again takes it into contact. Dougie Fife on the floor, trying to win the turnover, and he's done that. Good work from Fife.
Hurry on.
And here they go into Brazil's half of Scotland. Scott White off to Riddell. To Farndale. Good flick on over the far side there. James Fleming with a bit of pace. He's got the wheels as Fleming. And James Fleming will run around to open the scoring here in this bowl quarter-final.
Do enjoy seeing James Fleming with his slightly unorthodox running, but he flies down the outside. Have some great hands here. Farndale onto Bryce. Look at that quick flick. Watching the ball go right across his chest. Given a chance to get anywhere near Fleming, you sometimes get hit by his right arm, but flying down the outside. Good to see him scoring. Good start for this Scotland team.
Scott White, excellent drop kicker, adds the extras. Lovely little flick there from Glenn Bryce, wasn't it? And Fleming has all the pace out wide.
Important area now for Scotland as we see Fleming recover from his sprint down the left side, restarts. They like to go to their wider channels. Little deft kick coming in here. Expect to see White nudge it for one of the big men.
Well, he's a long way from Andrew Turnbull on that all-time Scotland try-scoring list, but one of their key players, Fleming, if he gets in space, he will score. There's good work here from Mark Robertson, one of the Team GB selections from this Scotland side. White's the captain, just goes behind his teammate there, and they will recycle though. Another opportunity here for Scotland, deep into Brazil's territory. It's Farndale off to White, and Glenn Bryce, who set up the previous try. Can he score one of his own? No, he pops it up to his captain. And White makes it 2 for Scotland.
Scottish team playing with a little bit more composure than perhaps we saw yesterday. The offload sticking, the little deft touches coming in from Bryce especially really are looking quite spectacular. Little step off the right foot, squares it back up, has a look, wins the collision, 2 hands back on the ball and pots it up quite nicely through the middle of the rug. Lovely offload.
Yeah, that's 2 assists for Glenn Bryce now, and the Scotland bench very happy with that. Incidentally, the player in the hoodie there, Nyathavu, who's missed most of this tournament, got injured in the opening game, didn't he? And it's tough when you lose players in game 1 and you don't have the reinforcements on the bench that you might like to call upon.
Especially the impact he can have in the games. Slightly sad to not see him in the 25-man squad for Team GB. I must say he does, again, it's quite exceptional things, but ultimately, Scotland have to perform without him.
Kick goes to Fiore once more, but he can't hold on to it that time, so advantage here for Scotland. And Glenn Bryce getting something going again for Scotland. Here's Jamie Farndale, back to Bryce. Bryce stands in the tackle. White, look behind. It's Mark Robertson, sorry, he flicks it back. Here is Scott White. White runs at the line, pops it off the floor, and another opportunity here for Scotland. And they will run it in. That's Dougie Fife with their third.
Dougie Fife, the beneficiary, congratulated from the man that made that try for me. I've talked about him already, Scott Riddell. Have a look at this little touch. He runs a hard line back at the ruck and flicks a return ball on the outside. That is wonderful play. You absorb defence, you create space by just one little touch. Fife there really benefiting from that man, Scott Riddell. Good try.
And another conversion from the skipper makes it 21 points to nil here over Brazil for Scotland. Just under 1.5 minutes left in this fourth bowl quarter-final. Crowd filling up here in the Stade Jean-Bouin. Everyone's getting excited. A big game coming up later for the local fans. France unbeaten here so far at their home tournament, playing Kenya in Cup quarter-final number 3. Restart of play here, but not the best one there from Scott White. That's gone out on the full and didn't go 10 either, so Brazil will get the free kick on halfway.
A different tactic, kicking a bit flatter. They've not got the height that some teams do, the Scotland team, so they've got to look for a slightly more imaginative kick, which is quite hard to execute. We see giving the ball away. If they do in fact find the ball again, for the Duques to pull the strings in the middle of the pitch.
Yep, here comes the ball.
Time on.
As you say, it's pretty hard to play rugby without one, and Duque will get us underway again. Passes off to his brother Moises, his Fiore. Back to Moises, Duque, and that looks like a high shot.
Yellow card.
That's a yellow card, yeah.
Back here.
Just shifting high with that tackle, Dougie Fife, and he felt that, didn't he?
Hands went up straight away. He knew he'd done something wrong. Zero tolerance on high tackles, rightly so, especially in sevens, and penalised for that. It's going to be difficult now with 6 men, but I do feel best place to be is often a line out, which can take up to 30 seconds anyway, but that looks pretty bad.
Yeah, often they might make first contact with the chest and shift up, but that one was very high indeed. Here come Brazil. Can they score a try before half time here? Trailing 21 points to nil with a one-man advantage with Dougie Fife in the sin bin. Duque. Back to Duque, down the short side here, and Gustavo Albuquerque will run it in with a smile on the face. It's try time for Brazil.
The old baby swing, always good to see a celebration. Someone really enjoying their rugby, but lovely play by Duque brothers once again, identifying low numbers on the left-hand side, change the direction as Silva takes the ball in initially, just trying to absorb a few Scottish players. Ball works back, spots the over chase, pick off Fleming. Enjoy that one. Hot dog, jumping frog, Albuquerque.
Lucas Duque with the conversion as well from out wide, so a really good ending for the first half for Brazil. 7 points on the board for them, but they do trail Scotland by 21 points to 7. Three tries in that opening first half for Scotland, and let's have a listen to their head coach Callum McRae.
We'll kill this lot, okay? Stick to the cog pattern, okay? We're supporting well as the passer. The responsibility is good. We're following that pass and obviously looking after that to keep play going. But we can't advise for ourselves just because we're getting to the second half. Stick to the game plan on that side of things. Keep the ball moving. Defensively, the only point I would make at this point in time is we're not talking right up to the tackle. Okay, that's why there's a bit of ambiguity when we were setting off. Go forward, nominate who's on ball. As soon as that's done, the guys either side of that are clear their roles. Other than that, make your shots, clean reset, and get forward. Okay,
Empezamos a juntarnos. ¿Está? Entonces, más firme el tackle individual y seguimos continuando trabajando en la pared. No se meta el número 2 en el tackle, ¿está bom? Paciencia, paciencia, tengamos la bola, viene para nós. Tá bom?
A limpeza do Rugby, temos que machucar o cara, a gente entra muito passivo, temos que, pau, regaçar os caras na limpeza, cara.
Só uma coisa, é a quinta vez que a gente entra das 22 e é o quarto try que a gente faz no torneio. A gente tem poder, cara, a gente só tem que ficar com a bola na mão.
Vamos! 2, 3, Brasil!
Really shining through from the Brazilians, we said there. The Duques, I'd love seeing them play sevens. They just absorb themselves in the game. Scottish players talking about communication, really making sure that they're talking up to the tackle, was Callum McRae's point. Skills coach by trade, but he knows that defence is all important against teams like Brazil.
Scott White, the Scotland captain, looks on as they wait to receive this kickoff to get the second half underway. Scotland leading Brazil in the bowl quarterfinals, 21 points to 7, and players jostle for the ball there, but it's set up for Stefano Giantorno, and he will go under the posts. They've scored either side at half-time here, Brazil.
Comes down to the gamble of a restart, back by Scotland, Fiore in the mix. And Giantorno really has given his chance, the team a chance now, as we see Duque slot the ball over.
Yeah, bring him on.
Yeah, really good period of play here for Brazil. They can pick up another 2 points now, and they are right in this game. 21 points to 16 now. Check that, 21-14 the score, my apologies. Fiore wins it again in the air for Brazil, but it's fallen down to Scott Riddell, and he sends it out wide over to the speedster, James Fleming. Cuts back inside, Fleming. Dishes it off back to Riddell. Scotland back to the full complement now. And here's Jamie Farndale.
Advantage offside.
Fife across to Riddell. And here's Scott White. Scott White over to Fleming. Does Fleming have the pace? He steps inside. Can he get there? Reaches out. Yes, he can. And it's a double for James Fleming.
Callum McRae be very impressed with that Scottish team score. This is how they like to play, wide, flat, sharp passing, giving a chance for Fleming to hit what's known as the 1-2 gap inside the outside defender. Can't quite be stopped by the covering Silva, and Fleming finishing off a good team try for Scotland.
So Scott White, left-footed kicker from out wide, on his right side this one, and just goes wide. So a good response from Scotland after conceding those 2 back-to-back tries to Brazil. James Fleming, his 74th try in his Sevens series career, and all the pace to burn when he gets the ball in space. Very useful indeed for Scotland.
Come on.
Jamie Farndale takes the restart, sends it high towards the Brazilian 22, and it's fallen into the hands of Hugh Blake, and another chance here for Scotland to perhaps score their 5th try. Big pass over the top to Fleming, and James Fleming has a hat-trick.
The power of the restart once again showing. Came from the fact Brazil had 3 pods up the halfway line. Poor execution for the retake, but what a pass that is. That's a lovely floated 20-yard left-hand pass. All Fleming's got to do is walk 10 metres, put that down, but what a pass in the midfield. Really am impressed with the Scottish handling this game, and Bryce, for me, showed some lovely touches.
Nick McLennan takes over the kicking duties and nails that conversion, so Scotland stretch their lead even more as they make some changes, 33 points to 14. Deep kick-off this time from Scotland, sending Brazil back towards their try line. The Scots trusting their defence. Brazil will have to try and play out all the way here, but it's been turned over again. Good defence from Scotland, and another chance here. Here they come through Jamie Farndale. Jamie Farndale leaves the Brazilian defence behind him, and he's over for another try.
First real insight of Farndale and what he can do. Hits an outside line, ball in two hands, and then he gets the big fend out. He's a big, powerful man, specifically in Team GB for that reason. He can come on, he can impact. Three wingers in that squad in Bowen, Norton and Morgan, who have the ability to play the whole game. But if you want an impact, you want a big lad to come on, he's going to come on. He can do some things pretty physically.
Yeah, Jamie Farndale will be joining that Team GB training squad in the summer, alongside Mark Robertson, Scott Riddell, but also Mark Bennett, who's been playing Six Nations rugby for the Scotland 15-a-side team. He's been selected as well, so it'll be fascinating to see how he makes the transition back into the Sevens game. Good lead here for Scotland in the bowl quarterfinals, 38-14 over Brazil, but an error there from the kickoff, so Brazil will have a chance to try and pick up some more points of their own. Lucas Duque off to Andre Silva. Duque on the run around, back to Silva. Nice little interplay there from Brazil. Here's Fiore. Fiore sends a long pass, bounce pass out to Felipe Silva. He stopped in a tackle and driven on by Martin Schaefer here.
Set a clear release.
No release there from Scotland, so penalty decision goes to Brazil. Chance for them to try and stretch the Scots out wide here. Here's Duque. Really nice feet from Duque. Can he make something happen here for Brazil? They'd love to finish on a high.
Take on forward, guys.
It's been turned over, and Scotland will set up a ruck here and try and clear their lines. No, it's back in Brazilian hands here. This is Andre Silva. Goes the chip over the top, Silva, but it's been charged down. And this is Damien Hoyland, and Hoyland flicks it out the back. Scotland offloading the ball at will here. But that one's gone to ground, so Brazil with another chance.
Not quite Fijian there.
Here they come, Brazil. The crowd, I'd love to see them score another try. That was Tiago Evaristo taking it into contact. And here they have Duque. Duque sends it out wide, but it's just been juggled there by Schaefer and Fiore. Fiore goes down the middle, sets up a ruck. Andre Silva once more with the long pass, but it's bounced off the chest of Sansarian. Well, with time ticking down here, just a few seconds left. It's the errors that have mounted up for Brazil in this one.
And that sometimes is exactly what you see. The nations that aren't perhaps as exposed to the series as others, the fitness can really show has been a little bit of a frailty, and with that the decision making, the execution of the core skills, sadly has been the undermining factor of Brazilians' game here.
Fine. Sit.
So Nick McLennan used to play ITM Cup for the Hawke's Bay in New Zealand, feeds this scrum, and it's belted into touch by Glenn Bryce. And Scotland confirm a 38 points to 14 win. Scotland will go through to the bowl